Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, people? Back with a bang. Here I am to bring you guys your weekly recap. So in this video I'm going to summarize a few of the stocks we traded in the Discord this week. I will touch on a couple stocks that reported earnings and a couple stocks which are reporting earnings next week. I'll also go into some of my feelings in regards to the market sentiment right now, and then obviously analyze some charts and some price action from intraday today and the other days of the week. So before we get into that, do me a favor, drop a thumbs up. It is much appreciated. Of course, these videos do take time, and it's again Friday afternoon. You guys are probably out and about. Here I am making a video for you before I go out and about. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So this week was a pretty positive week for the market. You guys may have seen the markets rallied. Nasdaq was up, S&P was up, Dow was up. I mean, today the Dow slid, but yeah, in regards to the overall week, it was a great week all way around. So yeah, here we go. Friday was a mixed day. I mean, Nasdaq had a great day on Friday, well today. The other indices, not so much. And you might have seen that the S&P 500 gapped down overnight. So here it talks about Nike. We are going to touch on Nike because their earnings wasn't great. It's pretty weak right now, and after doing some research, I realized it's going to probably be pretty weak for the next quarter. Either way, I'm still going to be out and about in my Nikes, and you should probably do the same. So Nasdaq notches new record. Yep. What to expect next week? It's been a busy week for markets, blah, blah, blah. Yep, we had FOMC this week as well. Interest rates unchanged, so no up, no down. We just kept the balance, which was positive for the markets. And as I mentioned in the last video, you can go check that one out. I'm expecting some rate cuts probably around August, maybe July, whereas a lot of people are expecting the rate cuts to come in June. So yeah, that's kind of a summary of those kind of things. Lululemon, actually I just came from there. Right after the market went to Lululemon with some friends and teammates. We'll actually touch on that stock first. There's the S&P 500, but we'll touch on Lululemon first because they reported earnings and it dropped 20%. Now it started to recover after a while, but you can see that horrible red candle. So yeah, this is Lululemon's price action on the 4-hour chart. Suffered a lot after earnings, ran up to 481 yesterday, then sold off all the way to 395 before recovering a little bit until 403. Funny enough, like I said, I just came from Lululemon a couple hours ago, and this is a stock which I wouldn't have expected to drop this drastically. Look at the price action over the past 4 or 5 months. It's been great. It's been consistently bullish. And unfortunately, that's what a bad earnings can do. Just tank your whole stock. Speaking of bad earnings, let's pull up Nike. Now, Nike dropped 7%. I was actually expecting a decent earnings from Nike, similar to what they had in the past. Here we go. But obviously last earnings they dropped, and I was expecting a recovery this time. Didn't happen, dropped even further. So 2 things for this. You can look at this chart and see, it's gapped down. Well, last time we gapped down, where did we drop to? Last time we gapped down, we dropped all the way to lows of $88. So right now, it's at 93, 86, just about 94. We could still drop another 7-8% down to $88. That's a level of support, pretty strong level of support. And honestly, you could very well see Nike get there by the end of March. It's not difficult. I mean, a bad earnings and it dropped $7. In a week or 2, it can easily drop $7 as well. So yeah, just keep that on your radar. And then if you do like Nike long term, it's an ideal price point to buy shares. If it drops further, you can dollar cost average down, or you can just hold what you've got. It's up to you. Let's go back to the S&P 500 because we gapped down overnight. And I want to point out something. Anytime the market is at all-time highs, you're going to have pullbacks, you're going to have sell-offs, you're going to have people taking profit, as I've said multiple times. Zooming in on this chart, markets push up to highs, find resistance, and then sell off. It's quite simple. You've got the moving averages as well. I use the moving averages to trade, and it's just pulling back to the moving average on different time frames. That's the daily. If I have the 4-hour here, pulling back to the moving average. It's nothing too complicated, really. Like I said, we push up, we hit resistance, we sell off. It's normal. Or we push up to all-time highs, people take profit, and we pull back. It's normal. So I'm expecting more pullback next week. But overall, in regards to how the week pans out, obviously no one knows the future, but I am intrigued to see the market sentiment. We've had good economic data recently. We've had positive news in regards to AI. We've seen stocks rallying. So it's looking quite positive. Any bit of news has been positive recently. Now, is that trend going to continue next week? I believe so, but I do believe there will be pullbacks along the way, similar to the gap down we had overnight from yesterday to today. So as I've said before, the Nasdaq had a great week, and you can look at QQQ to see that. So that's the 4 hour. If you pull up the daily chart here, there we go. Monday we were around 437. We hit highs of 449 before selling off now to 446. So for me, the next level to watch is 444. It's a strong level of support around 444 right here. Top of that previous candle. Right here. Strong level of support there. And if it breaks that, then I could see it falling all the way to 440. Right here. Resistance here, resistance here. And then if we do break that, which I doubt, then you could see us pull back all the way to around 433, 436, then 433. So yeah. Those are my levels for QQQ. It's been looking strong. It's been looking good, which is positive. Congrats to those of you in the Discord who got in QQQ calls today, Wednesday especially with FOMC. Well done. Great job. And another stock that we did well on today, NVIDIA. Ticker symbol NVDA. We hit 942, but we actually hit about 948 before selling off today. Intraday, here's the chart, 15-minute chart. Look at that. We start the day around 910, push up to highs of 948. Now at 923 or 924.25, I got into 930 calls. Lo and behold, this took off, blew those calls out the water, and we ended up taking calls, which actually hit highs of 486%, if I'm not mistaken. So I didn't sell at the top, but it was still a good way to get some money back, especially after I took AMD puts overnight, which I will just throw that 5 contract loss on screen. Did kind of tank, to start the day, but it ended up being an all right play, but not as great as obviously the Nvidia calls from today. Now I do want to touch on this stock here, ExxonMobil. I'm going to pull up the daily chart for you. I think this is an interesting stock. Here we go. We've had great days, back to back to back to back. This is the daily chart, by the way. This is just strong green candles day in, day out. But we've hit that level of resistance I've had, and we fell back down. And from here, we could pull back to 112, and I'm going to analyze that in my weekly watch this video. But right now, honestly, this is a strong stock. If you're looking for stocks that are strong, keep your eyes on Exxon. If we break this 113.76 level, we could be rising all the way to 117. Reason I say 117 is here, where we previously were, before we gapped down, 116, 117, before we gapped down. That's what I'll be looking at for Exxon. But like I said, I'm going to touch on that in my weekly watch list video. But when you trade stocks like these, you can also look at the other stocks in the sector like MRO. You can also look at OXY. All have similar patterns. And obviously XLE is the overall sector ETF. But all have similar patterns. Now, shout out SPX for trading GDS this week. SPX is somebody in our Discord, always showing love, always putting in the work. But GDS was so bullish this week, especially after they reported earnings a couple days ago. Just pushed up. And the daily chart doesn't really show it well, but the hourly chart shows it a bit better. But she got us paid. Look at that. From Wednesday all the way to Friday. It just pushed up, and it's up a lot over the past month. Such a weird chart, but look at the monthly chart. And I just put on the 50-minute chart to show you guys the double top before it sold off. Just to show you guys that there are also patterns you need to recognize at times when you're trading these kind of stocks. And before I touch on crypto, let's touch on Tesla. Tesla did its thing as it usually does. 15-minute chart, kind of messy. We had ups, downs, and then ups. Hourly, we broke below my channel, double bottomed, and then kind of rallied a good $17 before selling off back to the bottom of my channel. It's one of those where right now, if you're going to trade it, just trade it intraday, day trade. Don't swing it. And if you're going to get shares, this is an ideal price point. 170 price point. It's a great ideal price point to get shares. 160s was last week. 160s was really the prime point to get shares, but obviously you can't go back. But I think 170 is even, it's just as good, to be honest, just as good. Now, lastly, we're going to touch on BTC, ETH, and of course, SOL, otherwise known as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Bitcoin hourly chart, actually kind of bearish. Daily chart pulled on back a lot since last week Sunday, and looks like we're still bearish. There's going to be pushes up and sell-offs as always with crypto, but right now we need it to find its feet, find its base foundation before it starts uptrending again. Expect to see a little bit more of a sell-off this weekend. Solana's holding, but I mean Bitcoin, Ethereum expect to see a bit more of a sell-off. Solana's been holding its own though as of late, so I'm expecting us to see 200 again very soon. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Overall, hope you guys appreciated it. As always, make sure you check out the Discord, Royal Trading Academy. Shout out everyone in there. That's where we trade the stocks. That's where we speak live each and every day. That's where we have the breakdowns, everything else as well. So check out the Royal Trading Academy. Then, second in description, stock option starter pack. That is 10 videos you guys will have access to for life. It's a one-time fee, so go and get that for yourself and learn about options. And then, make sure if you're new around here, subscribe, hit the red button. And lastly, make sure you drop a thumbs up, comment, and share with your friends. That's it from me. Have a great weekend, everyone. I got one to making, you got one to making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace.